Hello, my name is Kelly Barkhurst from Designer to Fullstack, and today I am going to kind of walk you through a process that I was using Wix Studio as the website. We have the CMS set up for experiences. So these are products that can be purchased, and there are 60 something of them. And we those are dynamic pages in Wix Studio. And so I will show you some examples. So we have these curated experiences. And they are sortable. So we can do it by word. If I started massage, you can see these are ones that have massages in them. We can sort by if they're package type. Um, and each one has its own page. And so these are dynamic pages. So I can cycle through each of these dynamic pages. And what we want to make sure is that they have a meta description. So let's take a look. If we come into our pages and I scroll down, move myself here, experience item, and we are going to click SEO. All right. So I'm using a variable, the title, for unique URL structures, but we're going to click on this dynamic page SEO and jump in. So this brings me out into my dashboard. I have SEO settings. I'm going to jump into the basics and social share. So I click edit. And you can see for the title tag and the meta description, I'm also using primary field, which is the same as the title. So here in the meta description, I need to grab from the CMS. So I can go to add variable. And what it lets me select from is text fields. So I have created a text field that I labeled meta description. So that's the prep that I've done in the last hour, and now I'm recording this video. So I'm going to go ahead and save that now. So let me show you how I got to that point. So now what's happening is all 60 something of my experiences and any future ones are going to serve in the meta description this field called meta description. So we're going to go into our CMS and I'm going to show you how to add a new field or how I did. And then it's pretty cumbersome to write with those meta descriptions. So this is where I tested out using Gemini to go ahead and help me generate the first go and then how I could refine that. This also had me find a really annoying feature that Wix Studio has not built in yet that most platforms of this size, let's say something like MailChimp, has had this solved forever. MailChimp lives and dies on your user database, and we're all the time able to update new users, maybe add another column, change out their tags. And so there's lots of ways of combining that database when we go to import or upload. In Wix, it looked really limited and it scared me, so I didn't actually upload. And then when I went to the forums, I saw lots of different posts where people are saying, hey, I just want to update one column, which is what I wanted to do. And it does not look like that is possible. In fact, as close to April 2025, I saw something where they're like, hey, we're leaving. This is crazy. So I'm not sure. I stopped. I'll have to dig in more, but I could not find a way that seemed to confirm that I could update just that column. All right, so we're coming into our collections. I am going into experiences. So here you will see that I added a column, which is a text field. So if we come into edit, we can see I named it meta description and it is just a field type text. That way I can pull it in and use it as a variable when we were using the SEO. So what I did is in my experiences, I exported to a CSV. Then I jumped into Gemini and I had a conversation. So as a graphic designer, I've always considered myself a visual communicator and a really good communicator. As a software designer, web designer, I'm also a communicator, and now I'm having to get really good at communicating with AI. So what I did is I went ahead and said, hey, I have this website and these are dynamic pages and I need meta descriptions created. I'm going to upload the CSV to you. So I did, and basically AI said, great. I analyzed your details column, which had JSON objects in it. It scraped it out, saw just the content, and then wrote a compelling summary. And so some of these were great. Like the examples it showed me, I thought, that's lovely. Then I realized, oh, it repeated the primary title. And in my scripting, I have the title, the meta title, already being pulled. So I don't need it repeated in the description. So my next process was, okay, this seems to make sense, but I don't want the title and colon. Strip that out. So it went ahead and did that. And then it said it optimized the list, of the character limit. So I took a look at the CSV and I thought, okay, now it looks like your optimization was sometimes just adding an ellipse to the end. So I don't want an ellipse. So I told it, take off the ellipse. So it did that and it rewrote them. So no truncation. But then I found that what did it do next? Some of them were still too long. So I told it, hey, remember what length you said descriptions were? Some of these are still too long. And it said, oh, you're right. I see that. This one was 176 characters. So it started shortening it and I copy and pasted. All right. So I had it do one more cleanup. Um, did I? Actually, I didn't because I thought, you know what? When I go through, I will just make those updates. But what I think this shows is I could use this on other sites, and now I have a pretty good script. I would say make sure the character limit fits in that 155 character limit. Do not truncate with an ellipse. Do not repeat the title. Um, what else would I tell it? Do not repeat the same description more than once. I saw that it did that. So basically, we learned how to have a conversation to have this repetitive task, and it did pretty well. I probably rewrote a dozen because I thought of something that I liked better. But otherwise, they were pretty good and I could copy and paste. So I used my Excel document. So this is the meta description where it said there was a JSON object. So it stripped out all of this text, all of the code so that it could figure out what this page was actually about. And then in my meta description, so you can see this is where it extracted the details. And then I just updated them as needed in this CSV. Now, I did not upload the CSV directly to Wix Studio because, as I said, it made me too nervous. It didn't feel that safe. So what I did instead is I just manually copy and pasted in my pre-made, here it is. I just copy and pasted directly from my CSV file right in, and I have it here. So as a final cleanup, I might actually export this whole thing again and talk to Gemini again and say, hey, any improvements you'd make to any of these meta descriptions? Are any of them too long or any repeated that I missed? And maybe I would get something even more refined. But that was the process. So hopefully this is a good insight of how you can use AI to help with your repetitive work, especially when it comes to maybe meta descriptions or your CMS data. Um, so let me know if you found this helpful. And of course, think about what brought you joy today. And today it was my 3-year-old pretending to be like the Crap Brothers and creature powers activating frogs, sharks, black bears, you name it. All right, happy designing.